Our thanks go out to Nieves and Gerrit and their entire team for making Cisco Live 2024 in Amsterdam such an amazing event. As they said, there are so many great reasons for all of you to be here in the room with us, and hopefully you will keep your eyes toward the future, and whichever Cisco Live is closest to you, please come attend. We would love to have you with us. I want to focus a little bit in now on one of our phenomenal partners, NetApp. NetApp has been an incredible Cisco partner for years, especially around the FlexPod product, which I don't even know which year we're in, 12 years, 13 years. Think about the technologies that have stuck around that long, where the demand continues to grow and grow. We have rethought that partnership again and again, and we've heard from everybody, don't stop, just keep growing and keep building. Every Cisco Live, we build a phenomenal custom network operations center here on the show floor. It's always one of the most popular spots. Everybody wants to get over to the NOC and see the demos, and Rob Boyd is out at the NOC right now with Bobby Uman, NetApp's Senior Manager of FlexPod Solutions, and Joe Clark from Cisco. Rob, what are you seeing? What are you hearing out there?
Well, I do have both those individuals with me. I'm just going to start with my old friend Joe, and I don't mean by old, he never looks any older. He's got kind of that effect where you just get younger every year I see you.
I have the Dorian Gray painting in my office that ages, so I don't have to.
We've been down that joke long time before, but it's funny how it keeps working. But Joe Clark, I've always come to you for learning more about Cisco in so many different domains, so it's fun to talk to you here at the NOC. So this is actually the visual spot of the NOC, but you guys are big about showing exactly what's happening, being very open and transparent. Technically the NOC is in another part of the facility, but I wonder if you could explain how this works, what makes it so different, because it's very unique that Cisco goes to the trouble to build this network. Why would we do that? What's important to understand here?
Well, what's important is our attendees. So our attendees, our customers, our partners, that's why we build this network. We need to offer them services. We need to put Cisco's best foot forward. And you're absolutely right. We're in Hall 7 in the network operation, the front of house facing network operations center. We have on these displays you see behind me, we are showing statistics about what's going on live, about what's going on in the network. For example, wireless channel.
Yeah, let's do that actually. I'm going to pause you there. Let's have Steve go over. You tell him exactly which screen to go to and tell us what we're looking at.
So here we have the wireless channel utilization, a heat map in a Grafana dashboard for our main WLC, our main wireless LAN controller. We've got a number of different controllers here because we have such critical parts of the wireless network. So for example, we have a dedicated set of controllers for Keynote. Down here, these are the statistics that we are looking at to monitor the live part of the core network. So core and data center. Here you're seeing things like NAT translations. We had over 490,000 NAT translations today in terms of what our attendees are doing on the internet. To my left, and maybe your right,
we'll go a little bit further there. All right.
We have active statistics about the wireless clients that are connected to our network and what types of protocols, what types of frequencies they're using. So you can see most, well, you could have seen, most were Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6 clients.
Well, let me ask you about that, because sometimes we are literally monitoring and actually watching this because it goes into your planning for the next event, because you see shifts as people upgrade their radios.
Absolutely.
That's going to make a difference on the network, and so so tell me again, what are you seeing? What kind of shifts this year?
So right after COVID, we were surprised to see how much Wi-Fi 6 had been adopted. So the 5 gigahertz version, but Wi-Fi 6 as a standard had been adopted. What we are seeing though is Wi-Fi 6E, the 6 gigahertz, is making a stand. And people actually have clients that support it that may not be connecting to those networks yet. So we're encouraging people, take advantage of the new protocols, take advantage of the more bandwidth, and we're deploying those networks so that they can start to test that.
Are we still supporting 2.4 and such here at all, or do we shut some of these off?
I was just told today that the 2.4 spectrum in here is pretty noisy. So we try to turn off, and we try to encourage people to turn off and not to bring 2.4 gigahertz. It's just way too noisy there. We want people on the more modern protocols. We want people on the 5, hopefully get more people onto the 6 and the new security with things like WPA3.
Well, and speaking of that too, you mentioned, are we IPv4 only, or do we support IPv6 as well?
No. We are, of course, IPv6. In fact, we're looking at what we can do next year around this concept of IPv6 mostly. So really encouraging people to take advantage of a pure IPv6 internet.
Excellent. So let's go back over to the high-level diagram here, because I want you to explain how it all works together. Where's the redundancy? why do we break out the data center like this? In fact, I'm going to come around here. Can I have the other mic, actually? We're going to do this on the fly, because I want to make sure I don't stand in front of the screen. This is going to become yours. You remember how to use that, right? With this end, with the soft end you speak into, the other end you hold. Just keep it up close. Walk us through what's important here.
So this is our data center. This is the logical diagram of our data center. It is fully redundant. So this represents the core network, our handoff to the core. We have two instances. One that's in what we call the main equipment room number 1. That's our core one. It has two Nexus 9336 switches. That goes down to our compute, which we have the 6332 fabric interconnects, and we have a UCSB chassis. Those are running all of the show's services, things like DNS, DHCP, Umbrella. We have a SOC, a Security Operations Center, where we're doing active pen testing. We're doing passive monitoring of traffic. Everything that we need to run the show, we have an instance there. But that's not good enough, because again, we've got 5 days to make the best impression with our customers. 1 hour of downtime in a 5-day event, we're talking 7s. We're not even close to 9s. So over here, you know, why build one when you can build two at twice the cost? We've got an exact...
Spoken like a true Cisco engineer. I love it.
We've got an identical copy about 5 kilometers away on the Rye grounds of our data center 2, which runs redundant instances of our services, but can also act as a extension of capacity. Same thing, we've got the 9336s, we've got the fabric interconnects, and we've got the compute. Now the thing that makes this so important, the thing that gives us that level of criticality and resiliency that we need, is the underlying storage. And this is where our partner NetApp comes in, because they provide us a very redundant, very resilient metro cluster, set of 2 clusters that are active in terms of their ability to maintain the storage. So they provide us with the scale that we need, and they provide us with that resiliency.
Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for the segue and the setup there. But before I go over to Bobby to talk a little bit more about that in more detail, just to make sure we all understand, I go to Cisco Lives almost exclusively. Obviously, there's other conferences that go on. You do a lot of other conferences. How unique is what we do here versus other, even industry conferences? Is this normal to build out a network and do this kind of thing?
At this scale, no, and we're Cisco, so we have to come big. We have to show our best foot, and we also have to be able to give the attendees what the attendees want. Internet. I mean, look behind you, right here. This is showing the total amount of traffic.
This is Saturday?
This is since Saturday, the amount of traffic the attendees, our customers and partners and us have put on the network. Last year, after COVID, the first event after COVID, we tipped out at 59 terabytes. We're not even at the last day, we're at 61.84. And look at this IPv6 to v4 ratio. We're getting almost to 50% of that v6 traffic. This is the reason we do what we do, because our customers, our partners, the demos that are going on, they demand the bandwidth, they demand internet, and we have to provide that.
That's perfect.
And the venues, the Rye is actually pretty good. We take over a lot of their Cisco APs, but some of the venues can't do that, and that's why we bring in the additional services, the additional capacity.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take your mic and hand it over to Bobby. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate your help. Here, Bobby, I'm going to have you take this. Just for a second, can we walk over here? This is funny to me because I'll have you stand on this side. So tell me what we're looking at here. This is a live video feed. Very exciting. Make sure we don't miss anything, but what are we seeing?
So this is a FlexPod setup. Again, this is you're seeing live from the data center. It is built with redundant components, and we've been doing this for the past 14 years, and the Cisco and NetApp relationship has created a business of more than $16 billion over these years, and thanks to our partners for making this happen, right? Again, this covers workloads from VDI, database applications, AI, etc., by having components from both sides with options for compute, CPU, and GPU with the application-centric storage solution from NetApp. So to double down...
yeah, please, tell me where to go. Let's put the best foot forward. We'll kick everybody out over here as we do this. Excuse us, live show going on. Thank you so much.
So again, to give that extra protection, we have a metro cluster setup, as Joe was alluding to, right? Our goal is to give a secure, scalable, reliable network, and FlexPod is supporting it, right, in the back end. You could ask why we have all these set up. Our goal is to give the continuity between events over these years by having this setup for NOC. So that's why we bring all these systems, make sure it's been tested in staging, and we put that into an event, something like that, so that we know that it works. Our goal is to give an enterprise network system. The way I see it is any application you run, the first thing you need to make sure is your network is reliable. That way, whether run a database traffic or storage traffic or regular network traffic, it is being tested.
Yeah.
I have a little story to back this MetroCluster solution.
I need to wrap up here at this point. I apologize because we're having to go back over. But Bobby, thank you so much. And thank you for the relationship. Partnership is so important. Guys, this stuff is so critical. Everything here runs on it. And these guys have tested it and making it work. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the look behind the knock. Steve?
Thank you so much, Rob. Our thanks to Bobby, to Joe, as well as always for the great partnership. We are going to run a replay right now of one of our favorite innovation talks that has happened this week here in Amsterdam. Larissa Horton and Jono Luke welcomed Manuel Sevilla, CTO of Capgemini Business Services, to talk about the benefits of customer experience and AI. Every business today, meaning your business, it's being benchmarked against the most recent experience that your customer just had. What that means for all of us is good enough. It's not good enough anymore. Times have changed. Customers are going to choose with their wallets. They're going to choose with their voices. Fortunately, we've got great advancements happening in AI, promising breakthroughs for agent efficiency and so much more. Let's hear all about it.